welcome to iFinance Mortgage. I'm your host, Tiffanie Phillips, and today I have a treat for you. I have JJ Jara with me. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for the invite.
Thank you so much for coming. So JJ Jara, I did see him. He was hosting, basically giving his expertise at an event that I was at, and he has been so kind to come and join me today. He is a real estate investor all over the Ohio market. So we're going to get some more information on that today. And JJ, just to get started, why don't you kind of tell us, how you got started in real estate investing and why the Ohio market?
Absolutely. So it'll be a small little recap.
Yep.
But I've always been interested in real estate. I remember as a young kid, I've always wanted to know about houses, learning how to do repairs and the befores and afters. Fast forward to when I was 21, I decided to buy our very first property, bought our first house at the age of 21, and did some buy, flips, buy, sold, during that time as a non-licensed agent.
Yep.
It was just a homeowner, but just liked the entrepreneurship side. And about 10 years ago, I decided to get my real estate license. It was a time in my life that I was looking for something new, something different. And I've always been intrigued by sales in real estate, so I said, why not? So decided to get my real estate license. Started selling real estate at high level for the first 3-4 years. After the third, going to a fourth year, I was offered a coaching position at one of my brokerages. And I started coaching the office, and
awesome.
then different offices within the real estate brokerage, I should say. And after that, I started doing coaching on myself by my own.
Yep.
So people started hiring me. I kind of venture on my own. At the same time, I was also venturing and looking into real estate investing. That was something that I always wanted to do since day one, eventually getting to real estate investing and own real estate. And during COVID, that was when I decided to make the plunge.
Yep. What was the thought process there? Like, what's going on right now? And I kind of saw, your story a little bit, but you were looking kind of into the future with your family.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So as everyone can remember, COVID
Yep.
was a bit scary. It was a season that I was kind of like forced to make a very decisive decision, very it's now or never kind of decision. Yep. And although everyone and everything was telling me not to do it, not to start buying real estate during COVID, because who in the right mind will want to start buying real estate during COVID, or investment properties, I should say. Something in my gut told me just to do it. So I decided to buy our first multi-unit, first duplex in Cleveland, Ohio. We're here from California, the Riverside area. And found a property, did all my due diligence as a licensed California agent and with 20 years of experience in real estate. And I just went and bought it. 2 weeks later, my wife and I were flying out there. We saw the property in person for the first time after we closed on it. And I just knew right there and then that was going to be the place where we're just going to kind of lay our flag and start our real estate portfolio journey. And now 3 going on to 4 years later, here we are. We're
how many doors now?
We're nearly 100 doors.
Oh, wow. It's incredible.
And people say that all the time. And sometimes I think I just have to like be grateful and also realize, man, that's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
Right. Because 3-4 years ago, there
nothing. Was like 4 units.
Yeah, there's really nothing, right? But so it's helped me to see things in a bigger picture, and now we're just trying to see the best way that we could not only grow as a family business, but also help other people do the same thing.
And you did start, so you are also mentoring too.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what was it that, like, what was kind of behind the research, or what was it that led you to Ohio? So that first investment, you're in California, COVID's going on, and then kind of what made you think, like, did you kind of dapper in other states or maybe listen to what other people were saying, but maybe you took a turn like, this one's for me?
Great question. So being out of California, licensed agent in California, knowing the California market inside and out, I just knew that California was not a market for me to start investing. I mean, you're talking about $1 million to buy any type of real estate, and as a rental property, as an investment property, you need at least 25% down out of the $1 million, and then just the numbers didn't make sense for rental properties, and so I started venturing into other states. Arizona was another one, was one of the states. The other one was Nevada and Texas. Those three states were the main three states that most Californians look at
exactly
when we're thinking of investing.
Yeah.
We all know that, right? And although the numbers were better than California, they were just not the numbers that I was looking for. Right? And so I just started venturing to other different markets, and somehow I came across the Midwest.
Wow.
And came across Ohio. Then I narrowed down to Cleveland. So the numbers were great. I saw it was a high demand for rental properties. And the rents were high. The properties were extremely, affordable.
And development.
I mean,
like it kept going. It was one that was
2023. Watch,
Yeah.
a very good stat. 2023, I looked it up. In 2023, 2024, there was over 200,000 new people that went into Cleveland.
Wow.
So in other words, the Cleveland market grew by over 200,000 people. Now, I don't know if they all went into the city of Cleveland or just the Cleveland and surrounding areas, but that's
a lot.
I mean, if you know the city of Cleveland, in between the 80s and 90s, it went through a huge depression, and so Cleveland lost a lot of its people.
Yeah,
they kind of went out to the suburbs. Cleveland was close to going bankrupt at one point. Cleveland's coming back though.
Yeah,
and it only takes for you to just drive around to see all the new development. And I'm not talking about a duplex here, a duplex there.
No,
I'm talking about 50, 100, 200, $200 million projects.
Wow,
that's a lot of money for people or big corporations to go and invest in real estate. And so if they're building 200, 300, 500 new apartment buildings here, there, and there, it's because they're anticipating the 10, 20 year growth that the city is going to have. So.
They keep building, so it seems like and you've gained so many doors, it seems like your vision has kind of caught up, that they are still building, it is growing on the up end. Well, on that statistic that you had with like 200,000, was that, do you know if that was like a lot of California people, like?
Yeah, so I didn't.
I feel like a lot of people
I don't know
moved.
about that. But I will tell you this. So most of the people that I've run into are investors in the Cleveland market. They're mainly from California, New York, and Florida.
Yes. And those two, like Florida is another big market right now, or basically New York and California are diving into.
Yes.
But with Ohio, so now when you first started, you had mainly 2 to 4 units.
Yes.
But now you're working on, now that they're developing, is this like a new building, a project that you're going into, or was this a new development?
Yes.
I think you said it was like 100 doors.
Yeah. So what the plan was, and the plan is to get to 150, 200 doors.
Wow.
On duplexes, fourplexes, and bigger apartment buildings. But eventually, the long-term goal is to get into the development side.
Yeah.
And I think development's not for everyone, but it could be a very good niche or very good space to go into. And so that's kind of like what we're
now kind of dipping into.
Yeah, we're dipping into it. Again, thinking long term, 5, 10, 15, 20 years.
Wow.
And not just in Cleveland. I mean, Cleveland is just one small city in Ohio.
Yeah.
You have other great markets like Columbus, Ohio is another great market. Cincinnati, Ohio is another great market. And not to mention all the suburbs around, So
I've heard a lot about Cincinnati lately.
Cincinnati is
that the next one?
Yeah, really.
Because everyone's kind of gotten in Cleveland, so now I feel like it's just going to keep going, because the more and more opportunity, people now, you as mentors and investors, you're like, hey, like, come get started. Like, it's out here.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing. That's my biggest thing that I want people to one of my goals is to bring awareness to people that there is other ways to invest. There is another way to start. You don't need no $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 to start investing.
No.
There's other ways to start. For many years, I heard from Grant Cardone, which is one of my online mentors. That
mine too.
Right. That that
That's
you
how I started.
that you needed to start in your own backyard.
Yep.
Meaning if you live in California, you have to start in California. If you live in New York, you have to. But now, about almost 3 years ago, he changed that, and now he came out saying, well, not everyone could start in their own backyard, so venture into different states, and not everyone could start with 16, 18 units, like he said for so many years. He said, maybe you could start with a single or a duplex. I'm show you guys how to do it. So the market has changed.
Yeah.
Things have changed, and one of the biggest things that I kind of put out there is just to tell people to start.
Yep.
Start somewhere with anything.
Yep. Go to YouTube. Find someone someone that's doing it.
Right. And so I think we're cracking in.
Yeah.
We're cracking into that market where now more people are aware that there is more than investing in your own hometown or your own state, and I think it's happening little by little.
And I feel, so how do you see in that market, do you see there are a lot of housing available, so a lot of investors coming in. So is it just that the residents that live there, are they just not really purchasing as much? Like more of a renter, is it just more of a renting market?
Yeah. So again, one of the main reasons why Ohio is so attracted to me is Cleveland in this case, is because I found out that it was a high renter state.
Yes. Do you know the percentage on it?
I don't know the most recent percentage, but I will say this: I came across an article from Director Wilson from the Housing Authority in Ohio, and she in that article she said that one of the main reasons why there's so much renters in the Ohio market is because it's a generational mindset.
Nice.
So what does that mean? That means that their grandparents and their great grandparents rented, and they passed on that generational mindset
but just the one house
to rent. Continue to rent. And there's a lot of people that are on assisted living, Section 8 housing. And so it's a state that's very high on rents or on rentals, and not many people own. Now, I'll tell you why I've kind of know why people don't own. The main reason that I came up is because they just don't have the education. They don't have that mentor. They don't have that someone in their family telling them, hey, listen, we're going to stop this whole renting stuff, and we're going to go and get our credit right. We're going to go in and get at least 1-2 year employment history. We're going to go ahead and save at least $2,000 to $3,000, and we're going to go buy our house. There's no one in their circle
teach them, or that handed that down
to give them that knowledge,
mindset.
to give them that education, that to give them that mindset, because I think it's a mindset that you kind of just rub off to someone else. So
I feel like it's out here too. In California, we're always thinking like multiple income streams, and like we already have that mindset. Like, how can I maximize this? How can I get more? So I am seeing that like maybe that like grasp for more isn't in some of those different states,
right? And
like to expand
and watch. That's why we're all different.
Yeah.
But one of my goals is to kind of come across a new individual and say, hey, listen, do you own any real estate? And if you don't, why don't you? And so that's something that I'm actually doing in the Cleveland market now. I'm teaching locals.
Oh, I love that.
How to actually get into the investing side, how to get into the landlord side. And so we're working together with a couple other local entrepreneurs to put some events together and kind of show your homeowners or just people that rent how they could also do it too. For people that don't own in Cleveland, I mean, you can buy properties for under $100,000.
I know.
And so imagine somebody goes in there with a 3.5% down FHA.
Yeah.
I mean, that's less than $5,000. They get some, first-time buyer assistance program. I mean, literally, people could buy and own their property for just a couple $1,000s.
Exactly.
People don't know that they can. People don't know that where to start. People don't know the people that could teach them how to do it. And so we're taking initiative to start teaching the locals how they can do that.
That is amazing. And then now you're kind of bringing it to them like, hey, I'm going to teach you. Like, I couldn't build right away in my backyard, but now you're kind of teaching them.
Absolutely. And you know what? Yeah. I tell the locals all the time. And it could be with the guy from the gas company that goes to one of our properties, turns the gas on, or it could be someone at the grocery store, at Home Depot, whatever the case may be. And we start conversating. And I always tell them, hey, listen, let me ask you this. Why will you allow an outside investor to come to your own house and take what I think should be yours?
Yeah.
And I say this in a joking manner, right? But at the same time, it's true.
How do they respond?
Don't know. They don't know. They don't see their response is like, well, I mean, I don't know.
I can't.
I don't
or
think
just like
I can.
I can't get it.
We had an event last week in Cleveland where we invite people from different states, mainly from California, and people fly out there and they spend a day and a half with us. And we kind of give them a tour and we show them exactly how we do, what we do. And one of the attendees was from Cleveland, okay? And she's just mind blown. She was mind blown on how I knew more about Cleveland than she did. And she's been there her whole life.
And just how it's possible and like nobody, it is possible to do this, like, and just keep adding to it. And again, it's, that knowledge. Yeah. So so this is kind of stemming for your mentorship. So, or is this kind of a side? Yeah.
So watch. After flying out there and looking at the potential on our very first property, I just knew, I told my wife, listen, this is something that we cannot just keep to ourselves. We have to let people know about these opportunities, about the potential in this market. And so what I did on the spot, I wrote down a little a business plan on how we're going to be able to invite people from anywhere to fly out there and see the potential for themselves. So I came up with an event that we named Boots on the Ground. And the reason for that is because it's a very, very hands-on, literally boots on the ground experience. Yeah. So we draw them around for a full day. We show them different areas in the city, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and the nasty. That way they can see it in person, right? And know what they're getting themselves into if that's something that they want to do. Now, that's one of the many things that we offer to kind of just put people on the game about investing in Ohio. So that's one of the things we do. When again they go out there and they get to see it for themselves, and if they choose to, they could do it on their own because we give enough material, enough knowledge during a day and a half. But we also offer a one-on-one mentorship, a one-on-one coaching.
That's awesome.
Which, quite honestly, that also happened from one of our events. We took a group of people from California, and at the end of the event, one of the gentlemen pulls me to a side and says, "Hey, JJ," he goes, "Man, I love this. I like this. I see potential. I want to do it." He goes, "However, I'm scared.
Yeah.
I'm scared. I'm scared to fail, and I'm scared to lose my money." So he says, "I know you don't do this, but what if I pay you to teach me on how to close my first deal?"
Awesome.
And that's when
then it was born.
And that's when I was like,
and then JJ Jara was here.
And then I was like, well, shoot, I mean,
like flattered.
I coach people.
Yeah.
I'm a real estate sales coach. I've been doing this for years now. But I never thought about putting a coaching program together to teach people how to invest out there. Just something that I was just naturally doing, right?
Yeah.
It's just, to me, just very natural now. And because of that gentleman, that's how we started the coaching program.
Wow.
So now we hold people by their hand from beginning all the way to the end on their first property. We find the property, negotiate the property. I mean, we do everything for them, with them.
Yep.
This is a very hands-on training, coaching, where we not only put you to work.
Yep.
We teach you, but we also put you to work, meaning like we give you a homework assignment after every coaching session.
That's how you learn them.
And make sure that they're learning. So by the time we let go of your hand, we know that they're going to be able to duplicate and multiply as much as you can.
And how is that that first gentleman, how many doors does he have now?
So, true story.
A lot of
I wish I could say like, oh man, he blew up.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, just a couple of properties. Yeah. And I'll say this, okay, in all fairness. Not everybody is going after 100 doors.
Yes.
Not everyone wants 1,000 doors. No. Not everybody wants to build a crazy real estate, a portfolio empire for them and their family. That's not everyone's like that.
Some just want 8
Some
to
just
10.
want a couple of doors.
Yeah. They want enough comfortability to do what they want, to take care of their family, and that is perfect. I love how you point that out, though, because it is crucial to having a mentor like that can, stick it to your goals. Like, I'm not going to push like 100 doors on you. Like, what are your goals? And then you can kind of maximize that for them. Like,
right.
Okay, if you want to be vacationing 3 times a year, you probably want to get like 12 doors,
like absolutely.
Maybe like visually, like give it to them that way where they're like, kind of set them on that.
Absolutely, and watch. And the reason we do this, it's we call it your business plan, right? We help you create your business plan, which is your foundation on what we're creating. We're going to help you create with your one-on-one. But the reason for that is because I know that we're all different.
Yep.
I want thousands of doors.
Yeah.
You may want to just get a couple hundreds. He may want to go after maybe 2 or 3. We're all different. Doesn't make you right. Doesn't make me right. It's just we're all different. We all have different goals, different different targets, and that is okay. But we help you, and we help them customize the plan to what they want. It's that simple. So again, we're all different, and
then your whole program is boots on the ground.
Yeah, so so the program is boots on the ground again, where they go out there for a day and a half, and they get to ride on a bus, and the bus driver, they take us to different areas in the city,
awesome.
Hands on. That's one program.
Yep.
The other program is one-on-one coaching.
Okay.
And one-on-one coaching, again, we work with you on a personal basis, on limited coaching session until we help you get and become successful on your first closing. And
that's amazing.
And after that, the rest is history, because people could just blow up with that, and some people just do 2 or 3, which was part of their plan.
That is amazing, and I will definitely have that below, your coaching program and everything in there. If you guys want anything, all that experience from JJ, that will all be below. And now just kind of to go over, it's so impressive how many you have, multiple projects, you have a mentor coaching program, and you are a family man here in California, and you have upheld multiple projects, properties. Like what is the secret sauce there? How do you manage to keep your work-life balance? How often, maybe like from the beginning, how often were you going to Ohio? Maybe more now because you have more. But what are the key points there or tips for our audience?
So I would say this. It's all going to be based on your goal. It's all going to be based on what you want. See, some people may only want to have a couple properties in Ohio as rental properties. And so, I tell people if you're only going to have 2 or 3 properties, there's no need for you to even fly out there, honestly, because you could do everything remotely, right? That was not my plan from day one. The plan was to blow up.
Yeah.
And year one, I was flying out there maybe 2, maybe 3 times a year.
Okay.
Now I've 2024. I'm going to be there a good 85-90% of this year.
Wow.
Yeah, and the reason for that is because we're running multiple businesses now. We're our properties. We constantly have to remodel property. We constantly have to do turnovers on rent on other vacant properties. We're mentoring more people. We now have our construction remodeling division. That we not only service our own properties, but we're also helping other investors with their rehab on their properties. And we're also servicing the local market now. I mean, the local homeowners that want to hire us for the construction remodeling services. So just business, it's taking off a lot in Cleveland, so it demands more of my time for now. I'm sure once things kind of start falling in their place,
hire.
Then I could just probably not be out there as often if I don't want to. Quite honestly, I want to now.
Yeah.
It's not that I have to, but I want to. It just it's a satisfaction knowing that things are running a certain way
and growing.
Things are just kind of working out.
Yeah. And what are a couple of tips kind of for them to get started? Like just with the travel. So mainly just kind of set their goals.
Yeah.
Or like how often do you have some that don't go at all?
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah. So it is possible
absolutely.
to not go to the state, but again, it's going to be more tied to
your goals. I mean, again, if you just want to buy a property or 2, I mean, probably go out there one time just to kind of see what you're buying and just.
It's always easier too to pitch what you're selling, or kind of it's almost like if you sell it to yourself first, it's like it becomes like a passion. And then it's easier to keep growing and.
Yeah, so I would say if your goals is just to have 1 or 2, maybe Easy. if anything, fly out there once a year, make it a weekend thing. Yep. You know what I mean? But we have clients, one-on-one coaching clients they now own multiple properties and have never been in Cleveland, Ohio.
Wow, that's amazing.
Never. And the reason for that is because we help them do everything in a systematic way where they're going to hire a local management company that's going to manage their property. They're going to go oversee their properties. I mean, everything gets taken care of. And now in days, you do everything from comfort of your home, from your office. So, but then you have other people that want to fly out there once or twice a year, maybe 3 times a year, because now they own more properties. Now their goal is to buy more properties, and so it's I would say stick to your goals, and your goals will tell you what you need to do.
Perfect. And just to wrap up here, what is looking ahead? Where do you see your expansion and just the Ohio market evolving?
Yeah. So I see nothing but prosperity for Ohio, honestly. And I say that just because I'm there most of my time now. But also, if you read articles and if you look up what the real estate market is doing in Ohio, it's one of it's always in the top 10 places to invest right now. Look it up and you'll see. So I see prosperity for Ohio, the whole state. Different cities are
Yep.
better than others, obviously. Do your own diligence. As far as us, we're just looking to continue to grow. Ohio has been a great market for us, Cleveland to be exact, but we're looking to expand to the Cincinnati market. Probably some in Columbus, we don't know. And then after that, God knows, probably different state. But by then,
Maybe try it out, yep.
we'll have, a couple hundred doors under our belt. We're now going to have more leverage, and we'll be able to do something.
When
some
you
bigger
said
things.
different state, do you already have one in mind? What's that?
So I've always
what state
I've
would
always
that-
liked Texas.
Okay, that's where.
But
I'm
I don't like Texas because of the high taxes.
Tax.
And that's that's one of the things that many unexperienced investors don't know about Texas.
Yeah.
They think, oh, Texas is so good because they hear about Texas.
Because the prices are good.
Because
but
the prices are good.
taxes
But what
are
you
a
don't
lot
hear
higher.
and what people won't tell you, the taxes are higher.
Really high. Yeah.
Very high. So if you're thinking of going into Texas, look into it.
Definitely look into that. Even on the loan side, I mean, it's a whole point percentage that when I'm estimating, I'm licensed in California and Texas. So absolutely, when it comes to the taxes, it's like 1.25%. I kind of estimate for California and every state. And then Texas is 2.25.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So
it's definitely, and that's just what we do on the estimation while they're shopping. But ultimately, I mean, it could be a little more, could be a little higher. But
yeah.
Definitely, if you don't know or you just haven't really written it down before, it's almost like a payment shock.
Yeah, it really
Yeah.
is. And so don't get in trouble.
Yeah.
Do your own due diligence before you go out there and venture
Yeah.
into any market. Listen, people, I believe that if you're going to invest in real estate, you need to know everything about it, where
Yeah.
you're going to invest. So that's one of the homework assignments.
That's awesome. Well, thank you, JJ, so much for joining me. I will have all of JJ's information. Just excellent, like your family life, work-life balance. I mean, the moment I saw you kind of live and talking about your life, I absolutely connected. Definitely great information. I love when people are out educating, and you're educating, you're coaching, you're trying to give them the knowledge, and it's really incredible. So
Thank you.
I thank you for doing that. The audience thanks you, and I will have all of his information below if you were ready to get started in that Ohio market.
Let's go.